Hey everyone, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. How's 2026 treating you? We're still in 2025. We hope you're having a good 2026. It's 3 weeks in, and I'm sure that everything is just going great with AEW. I'm sure there's no problems, uh, and everyone's enjoying the show. Kyle, how you liking 2025 still?
I'm ready to get out of 2025. Or who knows, 2026 might be so much worse. We don't know. We don't know. Or everything in wrestling is in perfect harmony and life. And if that's the case, then I can't wait to get to 2026.
Well, you know what? I think 2026 might be a fun year. I also think it might be a year where a lot of us start living dangerously. That's right.
Mm.
We are in. Let me tell you why I'm recording this so early. We got to get the archives. We're down to there's 14 hours, 13 hours left of the archives. We don't know what's going to look like in 13 hours, but we're here. We had to get this in. This is okay. Let's all joking aside. This was the most ECW pay. This was the closest to an ECW house show experience on pay per view that we've gotten so far. Of the four ECW shows I've watched during this journey, this was the closest to the ECW experience. What did you think and I mean that in a good way. What did you think of this show overall?
I think it was all right. The problem with the ECW shows on the network is that it's so shaved down from what ECW is. Like they'll show the video packages, which obviously have Paul Heyman's voiceover or some cool music, and it's just like you're watching Just Incredible beat up the Great Sasuke for 2 minutes. And it's just like what is the where's the context? And there is none if you don't remember. So that kind of takes me out of it. But overall, the matches, all of that was this was definitely a better ECW feel than the last one we watched.
Yeah, this was a good field. They really I remember because I was watching. So ECW used to be on late Saturday nights on Channel 31, which is now it was PAX. Now what is it? What's the name of the Channel 31 over there?
Is it Ions?
Ion. Now it's Ion. Yes, but it was just like it was a PBS channel. But Channel 31 has gone through a lot in New York. But
Oh yeah.
they would have on late Saturday nights ECW, and I would watch it Sunday mornings when my mom was at church. And this is the close. They were very proud of the show. They showed that the Taz highlights 27 times. They were very proud of this one. They really went out. You gotta get the VHS of this, guys. Like they acted like they put on WrestleMania 3 with this show. But I think they deserve to because I think finally they figured out how to do a live show with this. Because remember, they don't do live shows. They
Mm.
did only three so far since they've opened. They've done three live TV broadcasts, and this is the fourth. And they've done a pretty good job. I think they did a pretty good job with this one.
Yeah, I mean the last one we watched was kind of weird.
Mhm.
November to Remember. Barely Eagle was their first one. Heat Wave. Yeah, once you put it that way, I didn't even think about it that way. It is only their fourth live show. Because I was watching ECW for about 3 years at that point, but this was their fourth live show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I remember my fourth produced show. Actually, I don't remember it, but I know it was not smooth sailing.
Yeah, and these guys, I think they mastered formula. Also, they're in home territory. They're in Asbury Park, New Jersey, a very ECW area, um, and it's in Bam Bam Bigelow's hometown. So they have a lot of like they're in their element. It's almost like AEW and Daly's place.
Yes, everyone needs their home bases.
They're in their home base. So the show begins. It's hours earlier, where Taz comes out of a limo. He walks into the empty arena and goes, "I'm ready." I will say that I think this was good because when you see that the building empty, it feels a lot bigger than what it feels like when the show comes on the air. Like it feels a lot bigger. He goes, "I'm ready." Then they dissolve to a live cut of Joey Styles in the ring. This is the hottest crowd that we've had for the ECW pay-per-views, and yet they're going nuts. They're chanting ECW, and Joey Styles goes for the next 3 hours, more like 2.5 with the edits. We are Lowell, living dangerously, and the ECW intro begins. I thought this was a good way to start the show. Little bit of a fun little production there, but I think It was good to see the arena because you're like, oh, okay, these guys are actually moving tickets and booking big buildings. Like they're not in high school gyms. They're in actual real buildings. What did you think of this?
No, that was a good way to look at it because just seeing it empty and seeing the crowd come in, seeing a hot crowd, if this is your first time watching ECW, you're like, all right, this is what my friends have been talking about. Let's do this. So it was a good start.
Let's do it. So the first match is the AEW original, Jerry Lynn and Chris Chetty, who I thought he was gonna have more of a career, man. He went nowhere. Taking on the FBI. Always a good time to see the FBI. Little Guido and Tracy Smothers, Tommy Rich. It is hilarious. Tommy Rich, he was supposed to be like the guy. He was supposed to be one of the guys who was going to
Hmm.
be the guy. And him being like this fat comedy character is fucking funny. I just realized like this guy doesn't have an ego because this guy was a former NWA champion and he was supposed to be like he was supposed to be a Kerry Von Erich Hulk Hogan type,
Hmm.
and he just is being a goofball outside and it works. And I think it's like some people have it and some people don't, and he has it. This was a pretty good match. Um, it's always good to see Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn looks very, very young, and you see how young Jerry Lynn looks, and you see how old he looks now in these AEW backstage vignettes. You're like, oh fuck, the time has passed. But it's a basic tag. But I will say, I think the FBI, beyond being a comedy team, is a pretty good team. I think Tracy Smothers and Little Guido have good chemistry. Chris Shetty and Jerry Lynn win. We're going to see a lot bigger things from Jerry Lynn as these paper. If we'll see what happens with the archives. But if the archives go somewhere, we're going to see a lot more of Jerry Lynn. I thought this was a pretty fun opener. What did you think?
No, I thought it was a fun opener as well. I mean, you usually get the FBI in the opener. Tommy Rich. I think a lot of people with ECW, they knew they were at the tail end of their career, so it was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna have some fun. He went there, Sid went there, Tracy Smothers is there. Although Tracy Smothers continued to wrestle well up into when he couldn't anymore. I think
Yeah,
people just kind of went to like have a good time, maybe have one more career resurgence and get a nice payday. And Tommy Rich, I think, was one of those people. As for Chris Chetty, I just saw one of those ECW deep cuts, not Tom Green does these WCW, ECW deep cuts on like TikTok, Instagram, where he'll tell you some fact about WCW and ECW. Chris Chetty left ECW in like 2000. Did a tryout with WWE, thought he was signed, found out he wasn't signed, came back to ECW, only for ECW to close down like that night, pretty much, like a couple months later. So like, and then I think that was just the end for him, which is a shame because he was very talented.
yeah, yeah. I really thought he was gonna be fun to bring him back. He is related to Hook. So I'll say, Tony,
Exactly.
I would pop. The fucking internet would be like, why the fuck are they bringing Chris Chetty back? Because I said so. All right. Up next, somebody said that this makes a lot more sense. Somebody said that I read this online that Lance Wright was a parody of Bruce Pritchard.
I could
And
see that. Yeah, I was like, because I didn't really never got him.
yeah, I didn't get what he was doing. And now that somebody said that, I'm like, oh, that's what it is. And none of us really knew. But now that, yes, okay. So we get a video package that we're going to see Wing Katamura taking on Masato Tanaka, from FMW. And we're going to see like a
Hmm.
strong style Japan match.
Oh yeah.
We don't, because Lance Wright comes out and says that, apparently WWE, they're losing to WCW. They have to get Shawn Michaels at the main event of WrestleMania. But while they're dealing with all that in a month, Vince McMahon decided to buy out Karamura's contract and have Doug Furnas in the ring against Tatanka. That because that's what this man's worried about. Vince McMahon is like, I need to. So they're still doing that. WWE is this evil company that, yeah. These guys, they have a match, and people are not into it because they thought they were going to see a Japan match. They thought they were going to see a Japanese match, and
Yeah.
people don't give a fuck about Doug Furnas. It's weird. At the end of the shirt, at the end of the match, Fucking Lance Pride fires Doug Furnas from Raw. Doug Furnas tells McMahon to kiss his ass. Vince McMahon responded by making sure no one ever saw Doug Furnas ever again. So, and
Yeah, that was it.
that's it. This is the equivalent of the TNA invasion, being that Triple H has sent oh God, I don't even know. Triple
Lexus
H
King
has
and all
sent
those guys.
what's his Madcap Moss to destroy TNA.
Oh, aye.
Even
Yeah, I mean it was a show. I mean that match. It was Doug Masao Tanaka. Great to see him. I was excited to see the match, as is everybody else was. And then you got Doug Furnas, and Doug Furnas not a bad wrestler by any stretch of the imagination. Not a very interesting wrestler by any stretch of the imagination too. So you get these two together in a very short match. It doesn't work. And I really like them as a team. Furnas and LaFon like that. When they're a team, great. Separate, I'm not really into it. Sorry, guys.
yeah, it's your yeah, it's yeah, Doug Furnas and Phil LaFon. It's like you want to bring these guys in, that's fine. Don't try to make it like a WWE invasion because it's just so lesser than, you know?
Absolutely.
It's just so much. Oh shit! It's just so. It just feels so lesser. It's like because also WWF. I will say WWF had a weird thing in this era where there were some guys who were still working for them, but they weren't really working for them. Like they were like kind of wandering around the world. Scorpio's one of them. Uh, Bob Holly was one of them at this point. So Bob Holly was working. Bob Holly had a contract with them, but they didn't really use him. So they told him that he could do like other things. So that's what he was doing, and I feel like a lot of these guys have that thing. So it's almost like they're wandering WWF guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're kind of doing that again now, but like specifically with blood sports and like
Well, I feel like
TNA.
almost is that guy. He
Yeah, well,
worked
almost.
wandering through the world.
Yeah,
But
he did Japan, which
I do like that idea that WWF has like these guys they send throughout the world to like snipe their enemies. I like that idea. Like almost is basically like, oh, like Noah's getting too big for their britches. We got to send almost over there, or like you know.
no, it's a good way to do a storyline. I think Omos, it was weird that he got really over in Japan and they were like, nope, let's pull him back. Maybe they didn't want him to get too popular.
They love,
Now,
they love, they love
not,
giants in Japan. They
and
love
now they're
giants.
gonna do it again in Mexico with Vikingo. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Omos. Maybe we'll see him for the Royal Rumble because maybe Saudi Arabia wants to see him.
You know who loves almost like loves him?
Who?
Undertaker.
I can imagine.
And I heard almost episode on Undertaker's podcast. And Undertaker, I've never seen Undertaker criticize WWE on that podcast. He was like, "Why are you not like you should be? You should only be seen twice a month. You should be in main events and pay-per-views. You've gotten so much better. I don't know why they're not pushing you. I don't know why you're not on TV." Like he literally said, like this is like a year ago, and he like never shits on WWE. He goes, "I don't know what they're doing with you. They're wasting our time." I'm like, "Wow."
Well, I did never hear that from Mark. Mark the Smart. Who knew?
He
But
loves
I mean,
almost
maybe
that.
that's why Omos is in AAA. Omos is in AAA right now since Taker is allegedly doing the booking.
That is so funny. He's booking AAA. I love it. I love it. I don't love it, but I love it. All right. But hey, listen, it could be the future, and right now, fucking Brian Keyworth could be booking AAA. We never know in the
Could be.
future. All right, backstage. So the censors, the pay-per-view providers, I don't know who these people are. They don't want to see the Dueling Canes match. They
Direct TV.
pay-per-view, so they had to pre-tape this match. The censors just didn't want it. I would assume the censors now all sit on Twitter all day and criticize AEW Blood. So this would be a fun gimmick for AEW to do. This would be a fun gimmick for them to do with what they're doing right here. What they wind up doing on the show would be fun to do in AEW. Where it's like we had to film this match because TNT didn't want to put it on, and then Tony Khan is just like, "Fuck it, put it on," and they show.
Yeah. But they
I
get
don't know.
away with so much already. It's not like
I
would
know.
TNT already be like,
I know. They kind of shot their load. They could have done this before they shot their load
He
with.
talks about how much David Zaslav loves him, like every time they talk about media rights deals and like
That's
which is
that's
odd because no one likes David Zaslav in the at least out of the fans. I don't know the man, but
the only people I ever heard talk highly of David Hasselhoff were CM Punk and Tony Khan. Those are the only two
yeah,
people.
maybe they all hate cartoons together and like taking TV shows off.
So yeah, so they shit on everything, and then Jason and Nicole Bass show up. They yell at Joey Styles. He kind of overreacts. I think Joey Styles. I really think he's perfect for AEW. I think AEW should be him and someone else. He is the right amount of corny for AEW. I really think I know he's a right winger. He doesn't want anything to do with wrestling. There's always a price. I think Tony Khan needs Joey Styles in 2026. I'm dead fucking serious.
I
He's
think
perfect for AEW.
I think he's just done. I think they can't trust him with a microphone in this day and age, which is wild because of the thing that got him in trouble 10 years ago, nearly 10 years ago.
What's crazy to me is what he got in trouble with wouldn't even bother any. That's people say that every day on fucking YouTube. What he said.
Yeah.
It's crazy that's what got him chased out of wrestling.
It's one of those weird things. I mean, this one, the downside of all the sponsors and the corporate and the TV, you don't want to upset these people like ever. And unfortunately, they have the thinnest skin. Or at least we're told that they have the thinnest skin. It could just be precautionary tales where, like I remember Dijak mentioned when he said like I'm white to like Eddie Thorpe, Shawn Michaels was like really pissed off at him. He was like, "You embarrassed us. You embarrassed USA Network." And I was just like, I don't think they care. Like, I don't think like anyone noticed. If anything, it gets someone looking at NXT. But I think everyone just kind of overreacts about things, and then especially that being so fresh. I think Trump was like just announced as president. He said it that weekend or something like that. So then it just tanked his career, in wrestling career. He seems to be doing fine.
Um, yeah,
And they
it's
also have like 8 commentators in AEW. Like
but they all say they
they
all
have
we didn't.
so many people.
I don't like any of their voices. Joey Styles are like Nigel McGuinness. There you go.
You know, like Brian Danielson.
No, who needs? Okay, Joey Styles and Brian Danielson. That's perfect. 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 No, Joey Styles and Cyrus. Get him away.
Oh no, we're not doing this again.
I solved it. I solved everyone's problems.
No, we're
No,
not doing it again.
Don Callis. Don Callis family ends on Wednesday. I solved it. I cured. I saved AEW.
Now
Joey
you're
Styles.
gonna next you're gonna want to bring back Joel Gertner, who should be coming up here soon too.
Yeah, Joel Gertner, Joey Styles, Joel Gertner, and Cyrus are the downs team. We don't need anybody else.
Oh boy.
Best company in the world. All right, this is fucking weird. This is fucking weird, man. So Tuco Scorpio comes out. He's another WWE. Again, this does have an NXT feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Tuco Scorpio comes out. He is going to wrestle Rob Van Dam. Here is the fucking thing about this match. The crowd hates it, and I fucking like
Mm-hmm.
it. The crowd is not. They're chanting, "This match sucks." Someone screams, "Stop!" The match is boring chants. We want Sandman. Uh, I like this match. Nobody likes this match but me. I thought this match was fun. Sabu interferes. I don't. Aren't these fans like into wrestling? This was fucking good. I think people need it. So I think he. So I'm about to say Tony Khan. Paul Heyman had to train the crowd because what happens is after Rob Van Dam gets the TV title from Bam Bam Bigelow, the next 2 years, every ECW show has a long Rob Van Dam match where they wrestle. Balls Mahoney, actually, I was there. He actually fucking wrestles when he's with, he doesn't do. And the crowd then started appreciating that to the point where you get
Mm-hmm.
the RVD matches in a year that define our generation, I guess, maybe. But
Yeah.
I think the crowd needed to be trained to that. So they want like blood and violence and stuff. And instead we're getting wrestling with two of my favorites, two of what I think are some of the best high flyers of the 90s. And
Mm-hmm.
the crowd need to be trained. No. When Rob Van Dam wrestles, you need to pay attention. But I was very shocked the crowd hated this. I was very shocked. What did you think?
I mean, I think it's one of those things that like you hear Rob Van Dam Two Cold Scorpio, you're like, oh, it's gonna be awesome. And it was good. It was a little sloppy, it was a little rough, but like It felt like a fight at some times. At point, it's great. I looked at the time; it was 27 minutes. It definitely felt long. I did not know it was 27 minutes. That's a lot of time. But I think, like you said, you had to train people to get into a Raw Van Dam match. I think people were ready for the next match, the next match that's gonna come up. I think people were ready for more of that and not the technical or high flying, a little mixed technical high flying that the two of them did. But I think for the most part, it's a good match between the two of them. Speaking of Rob Van Dam, and I don't know if I said it on the No Way Out one, I was like, if they have this relationship with the WWE and he's Mr. Monday Night, why not make him the guy instead of Savio Vega? Since WWF and ECW are like,
I don't think Vince wanted to put an ECW on the level of his top heels.
that's probably the reason. But it would have been cool because he was also an anti-authority kind of guy. Maybe yeah, maybe they just didn't want to get Rob Van Dam over. But
Yeah, I think it like, well, I'm not going to get this guy over. I think if they did that, Rob Van Dam would have to take the pin. Like, he'd have to
oh
get.
yeah, he definitely would have taken the pin. They would have they would have made sure he took every finisher.
He's not a good replacement. Most of the crowd would know who he was. Sabu might have been a better replacement. People would know. People in that crowd would know who Sabu is.
Yeah, and he can dive on him and Mick Foley, Terry Funk. They have a history, but
But again,
then DX and Sabu is such a weird combo.
Funk, Jack, and Sabu would have stole the show, and they would have got Sabu over. And Vince doesn't have so, and also Paul Heyman doesn't. The other thing is Paul Heyman doesn't want to pay these guys. He doesn't want these guys getting over. So
No,
Sabu and fucking Cactus Jack like do a spot that like is shown everywhere or people talk about in schoolyards. He's gonna have to pay Sabu more money. He doesn't want to do that. He wants Sabu to
very
like get
true.
so.
He wants
Uh,
Sabu to get a nice drink ticket.
this is the thing that we need to realize about Paul Heyman was taking advantage of all of these people in one way, shape, or form. He didn't care about any single one of them. He thought they were, and he's left them behind in the dust, so fucking far behind. It's ridiculous. Sometimes I think Paul Heyman regrets even starting in ECW. He's just a WWF guy. He has no time for Bubba Ray. He has no time for Tommy Dreamer. He certainly has no time for Sabu, and he just doesn't give a shit about any of these guys. You know.
It's one of those things. I mean, I don't know him personally. And you hear a lot of stories. I don't know if you ever watched the show Scrubs.
No, not that much. I watched like little. I'm in mean to get into it, but I just never have time. I mean, I still haven't watched Stranger Things. It's gonna end in a few days.
I think it's already over
Already over.
by the time we finish this. But I think there's a scene in Scrubs where they talk about a hardened character, and like you can see that it really does. Like once they leave, like they remove all the problems that they've had, and they don't think about them. Like days over, not thinking about them, and then something happens, and you still kind of see it on their face, even when they leave for the day. I think Paul Heyman, at some point in his life, will have that kind of feeling for these people, but it's too late, and he just has to live with the choices. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not because a lot of people of them are still alive, but he's not gonna give them money. He's not gonna make like an ECW fund. That's just something he's not gonna do. So he'll have to live, as other promoters have to live, with the decisions that they make
But
that affect these people's lives.
but to be clear, Paul Heyman would also at this point would throw Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins. And I'm not talking about the character. I'm talking about this is the real person. And if someone in WWF outlives their usefulness, he will turn. He will toss them aside, just like he did ECW guys. And I'm talking about the young kids now. That he probably gives Braun Breaker a pep talk and gives him the Kool Aid every 2 seconds. But if Braun Breaker became problematic or got into a beef about money with WWE, he would never talk to the guy again. He just doesn't care about anyone but himself.
No, he's a company guy. He gotta look at he looks out for himself.
He looks out for himself.
That's
He
why
has
he's still
outlasted
here.
Vince, and he's outlasted Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania ended with him on top. Didn't end with Vince McMahon and his family. It didn't end with Eric Bischoff. It didn't end with Tony Khan. It ended with Paul Heyman on top of the world.
Hey, somehow, somehow he makes it. I
He
don't know
made
how he does it. He
it
made
everyone.
it.
Everyone. All right. And he's put on this shit. Yeah, so at the end of the match, Sabu comes back in. There's a handshake. Salmon comes out. I thought they were going to do the Sabu Salmon match right then and there because everyone came out, but
Yeah.
instead they cut away. Um, you know, fun little ending, I guess. You're getting more Salmon on the pay per view. I would be upset if I ordered this pay per view and then they told me that they weren't going to show the match. So
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
was a weird thing to do. Like, imagine ordering fucking WrestlePalooza and they're like, well, ESPN didn't want us to show Brock Lesnar and John Cena, so we had it a week ago.
We're gonna show you the Creed brothers instead. And you're like, what?
Let me show you the Creed brothers. All right, now we get. You know what, bro? Joel Gerner's good at commentary. He's horrible at these fucking intros. I think he stinks.
It's
But
so dated.
so dated. It's a three-team match. It's Axel Rotten and Balls Mahoney versus New Jack and Spike Dudley versus the Dudley Boys. I love seeing Bubba Ray just looking so fat. I will say that ages you because he looks younger now.
Yeah.
You got to stay in shape. I say that to because he looks younger now. He not that he looks young. I don't get me wrong. I don't know this kind of, but he looks younger now. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, he does look younger. Once he's Bully Ray, he looked his youngest when he had like muscle. Now he doesn't
Hmm.
have as much muscle anymore, but he's still in a good shape. But yeah, here he was just round. And now he's not he looks like you can see him like walking down the street and not really worry if he's struggling to breathe or not. He just looks like a big guy instead of a fat guy.
Yeah, this is a fucking mess. I hate that fucking song. First of all, that music ruins the match.
If they could pay for one song, if I could ask WWE to pay for one licensed song, it would be that one. Sorry, I'm the
Yeah,
Sandman.
this song is like really bad. I'm enjoying the match, but the song gives me a headache. Is there a way they could just not have any music? Is there a way that
No.
I guess they have to? Well, can't they like just play like the best of the WWF Volume Two while these matches are happening or something? Like I'm just fine with like a CD of like I'm just fine with like WWF doing like a jukebox thing and like they do in WWE 2K on the menu. I'd be fine with it.
New Jack's beating up people the Bret Hart's You Start the Fire.
Yes, I'm fine with it. I would be much. I would actually be funny. So the match is great, but this song, man, is just.
The song for me, I went back at like this is a How I Met Your Mother reference. There's a song gets stuck in the tape recorder. 500 miles. I will walk 500 miles. And then they just go through different parts of they do cuts to different scenes of them being into the song, not into the song, hating their lives, then getting back into the song. And that's how I felt in this match. I'm just like, I hate this fucking song. And then I'm nodding my head to it. And then I'm like, I don't want to hear this ever again. And then again, I'm like, in the ghetto. Like it's like they played for so long. And the song's only like 2 minutes long. You're just like, oh my
It's
God.
very annoying.
For a 13-minute match too. It's the that's just like, oh my God.
They
It's in 2K25. If you do a hardcore match, yeah. If you do a
so
hardcore match as New Jack, the song plays the entire time.
no.
Yeah.
Thank God that version of the game.
I was like, somebody between the 2K money and the Tony and the Nitcom money has the money for Natural Born Killers. Just, I don't care if it's the edited version. Just please put it in.
Or put on like, give him a WWE song like they do with Jericho Break the Walls Down. Give him
Yeah. That is their WWE song, I guess.
a song.
I will say the ECW, I guess because they had to do it for a time because Jim Johnson wasn't around. They want to pay him that much money to redo the whole roster. The dubbed in music for ECW is some of the worst music I have ever heard. It fits no character. It was just thrown together, with the exception of maybe like Shane Douglas and like Tommy Dreamer. All the other songs are just like fucking terrible.
I will say,
Sandman's not bad.
you know whose fake theme song I'm now used to, and
Who?
now I almost feel like that's his real song, the DDP fake theme song. Usually it goes,
Oh yeah,
but somehow
yeah,
now I'm like, oh, this is it just shows you they could train our fucking brains.
yeah. You hear it enough. There are
Anything.
people in the world who don't know that he came out to Self High Five. If you're a young kid who watched WCW only through the network, you think this is what it sounds like.
Yeah. And you're like, why is it a big like wow, how did Jericho keep his theme song from WCW?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wow, he's very lucky. No, it's and I don't understand why I think certain versions of the show don't have like he has the even flow song in some copies and then other ones he doesn't. Like it's a weird
Well, I think now that he's like more like his WWF character, I think now they want to give him Break the Wolf down because
yeah.
more like that character. But like I think like when he's like the Lionheart, they like I don't know.
Yeah, I also think it depends on when it was dubbed because they used to have WWF Classic, WWE Classics before they had the network. So if they made it already for WWE Classics, that's the version they put on the network because they like cut out some WWFs and like in this one they cut out the word WWF and like there's a version of like Bad Blood that has like Booker T using the theme song he uses in like SmackDown versus Raw or something like that.
A while that's why I stopped buying the pay-per-views on DVDs because they were like changing everyone's songs on the DVDs.
Yeah, and you're just like this is the
Doesn't
fuck.
have on a DVD. It was weird. And then suddenly that went away. There's so much music shit. Bro, this is why
Music copyright is like one of the most insane things. If I can go back to college, I'd probably learn music copyright because it's crazy.
you know what to avoid stuff like this is why I was recording everything, every wrestling thing on TV. I was making VHSs. I was, and then I got rid of all of it because of the network. And now I'd be the richest man, and I'd be so like people would envy me that I had all this shit now. And I mean, I gave it up way before I moved out here, but like I really wish I didn't give up all those VHS. I wish I kind of it would have cost me like another like 2 grand to fly it out here, and then there's no room. There's no room here for it. I just
Yeah.
you know
It's also so much easier now to like convert a VHS. And back then, it really was like when the network came out, it was a giant pain in the ass to convert a VHS. And now it's like, oh, just put it in the USB, put it in the put it into your computer and put it in like and it will just do it in 10 seconds. And you're just like, man, wish I knew that.
yeah. So yeah. So Spike Dudley, New Jack win. It's a little bit chaotic, whatever. Up next, it's just
He almost
incredible.
dies. They do
Yeah,
the dive. Yeah. Crazy ass dive.
I know. Fucking, I'd say it's a miracle New Jack lasted as long as he did. On
You
my,
know, you know where what else was very weird watching this show. This is in the past because it's still 2025. William Regal a few weeks ago talked about getting people dropped on their heads, and
yeah,
I saw so many people just getting carelessly dumped on their head on this show or diving, doing the dives through the tables and like landing head first. It's like, oh my God, like it's just a combination of those two things at the same time was a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah, well, that's why he's warning because it's like, hey, man, there's 30 years of history that this can fuck you up, and some of these younger wrestlers were like, yeah, whatever, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, just watch that match. You're like, yep, let me not do that.
I will say this, like a lot of AEW fans like blew him off or like were dicks about it, and I will say this: if if you get mad at me, if you're a wrestler and you kind of have a snide remark or you get mad at me that I don't want you to hurt yourself in the ring, this is what I would say. Then when you get really hurt and you want to go fund me, don't expect me to give you any money because
Hmm.
you basically established that I'm an idiot for caring about you getting hurt. And it's like, okay, true, then I'm not ever going to care about you getting hurt, you know?
Yeah. I mean, even Kenny Omega, who they love, well, and WWE fans would give him shit too. But Kenny Omega was like, "Hey, like listen to William Regal." I don't understand it. It's a universal thing. No one likes getting hit in the head. You bump your head as you and I bump our heads as human beings. It could be over. Unfortunately, Bob Saget, he didn't don't land on his neck, but he hit his head harder than anyone thought he would, and passed away. This shit is no joke.
Yeah, it's no joke. These guys like don't take it seriously. And it's like it's so many years of proof that I mean, look at what Benoit with the chair that we saw him sold out. And look what happens to him. These guys just don't care. And it's like, okay, if you don't care, you don't care, but I don't care. Then don't
Yeah,
I'm not gonna have sympathy for you when you're older and you can't move. I'm just not gonna have sympathy.
yeah, it'll be a lot harder.
You made this
But
choice.
we can get to the next segment instead of giving everyone a lesson about head safety.
I know. Well, fuck them.
Speaking of head safety,
Speaking of, yeah, we're gonna give a head later. So it's just incredible. Who it's crazy that this guy was only 23. It is crazy to me that this guy was 23. And if you're him, you're sitting there and you're like, wow, I have my whole life ahead of me. I have years to become like, he still could have been a main eventer in 2018. 2018, he was 43. He was younger than me in 2018. Let
Hmm.
him now. And he pissed his life away. He had so many years ahead. He fucked it all up.
He was a click guy too.
Yeah, he was like the unofficial, and they don't even care about him anymore. It's Tommy Dreamer versus Just Incredible. Jenna Jameson comes out. Uh, he just yelled at her.
I've never seen the fans, by the way, get so excited. When
She was
Jenna Jameson came out, people were losing. It was like the cartoon wolf with the eyes and the like, ooh, and like hitting himself in the face. That's how they were reacting. One guy in the crowd lifts up his shirt, and I'm like, "Why are you flashing?" Like that's how much they lost their minds when this woman came out. Some high level goonery from the ECW faithful.
wait. Fucking Dreamer kisses Jenna Jameson, and Joey Styles says, "Boldly going where every man has gone before." I thought that was really
No,
stop.
that's why you want him back. You want him to say the stuff about the sisters of sin.
Oh, bro, we need them to for the Twitter beefs. These two, yeah, I never saw it was just incredible. I think time has proven me correct. He really wanted Justin to work, and I think he kind of knew that this guy was going to go wasn't going to. Well, I think in a good way, he wasn't going to go anywhere, so I can like revolve around him because everybody else might leave me. Dreamer does win. A lot of interference. Nicole Bass, Beulah, Mikey Whipwreck. I don't know. I wasn't too into this match. You know me. I don't. I think Tommy Dreamer only has a rep because he just never left, but he's not very good. And it's just two guys I'm not into just doing their thing. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it was a standard Tommy Dreamer match, a Tommy Dreamer emotional match, quote unquote. And then you had Nicole Bass. She also got a pop because something got loose. She had a little wardrobe malfunction when she was beating up Mikey Whipwreck, and everyone cheered. A lot of horniness in this match, but yeah, it was Tommy Dreamer getting some payback. I was surprised he won. I thought this was like just. I know Just Incredible had a
You know,
bigger rise of more rise than starts and stops, but. Justin Incredible loses this one. As for his career, yeah, ECW was the highest he was gonna go. I know they tried with the X Factor and all that stuff, but he was never gonna get that run in WWE or TNA. I think he came into TNA like much later after he left WWE.
2003, he didn't really do anything. And then
Yeah, like it was like it was over by then. Like the ECW guys kind of faded him, Steve Corino. Like it wasn't like a moment of interest by that point.
I also kind of think Justin Incredible isn't that great of a gimmick for him to just keep going, living on. Like I think he could have had a better gimmick. Like it's kind of like if Stone Cold Steve Austin was just stunning Steve Austin to this day. It's like I think he could
Yeah.
be more
I mean, when
interesting.
you're just incredible and there are other people who are more incredible than you that come along, it's hard for you to stay just incredible.
But because he wasn't, I mean, it's a fun name, but let's. I feel like that's a better name for like Javon Evans. Like you know what I mean? Like he's just incredible. Like
Yeah.
Justin, like they used to chant Justin asshole, but like that's literally what he is. He's just a fucking creep and an asshole, and he's turned into such a fucking loser. And I mean, it's
Yeah. No, it's falling apart for him.
yeah,
I
it's
think he's getting better, but
no, he's getting he's never getting better. It's always something. He's just a liar who just. Well, hey, listen, this might be the last time you see him. You never know. I mean, you might, who's to say? So let's
let's
get,
hope he stays around for a long time.
yeah. So here's a great video. I mean, like in terms of wrestling, we'll probably not. I mean, I'm sorry, in terms of this podcast journey, because we might not get the
Oh,
ECW,
yes, yes. Okay. I thought you were like, get him off this earth. I'm like, no.
anything like that. No. So I liked the video package for Bigelow Taz. I thought it was a pretty good video package. I like Taz's promos. You gonna be my partner? No, I'm gonna be your savior. Like I like that line. Like,
Yeah.
uh, so Bigelow is feuding the triple threat. He asks Taz for help. Taz decides to team with him. They take on Candido and Shane Douglas. Bigelow turns on Taz, and now it's Bigelow versus Taz for um, the ECW TV title. Um, this is the real main event.
Hmm.
Let let's be clear. This is the real main event. This match is great. These guys deliver. This is a really fun match, and one of the biggest pops, one of the biggest spot ECW history is Taz has him in the Kata Hajime, and then Bigelow jumps back, and him and Taz go through the ring. The crowd is fucking shocked. They drag Taz out of the ring, and Bigelow covers him for the 1, 2, and the 3. Crowd goes nuts. First, the crowd's not into Bigelow, you know it's his hometown, but at the end, they cheer him. I thought both guys delivered. I thought this was really good.
No, this was a great match between the two. Another scary one, Taz doing the Tazplex off of the little ramp. Bam Bam like falls into the crowd. Taz just falls off the ramp. I think they chanted Taz is dead for a little bit. Like just crazy head spots. And then of course the legendary falling through because I wasn't sure if it was this match. I was confusing my Bam Bam moments. I thought he was wearing his gray fire when he fell through the crowd. He was wearing his orange fire. I mean, not crowd, fell through the ring. Wearing his orange fire. He had the gray fire when he threw Spike Dudley. So
Yeah,
just my color association with Bam Bam Bigelow was off there. But just a great moment. I mean, I remember seeing it when I was young, being like, holy shit, it's in every ECW video package after that. It's just wonderful. And
yeah,
great
it's
moment
really
for Bam Bam. Sorry. The someone who like kind of got the big main event in 1995 that kind of went into obscurity in America to come back and then do this and to finally get some more recognition is great.
yeah, no, it really is great, and it's like Bam Bam's back in this match to me.
Yes.
The one thing Paul Heyman always he believed in Bam Bam, and he gave Bam Bam a place to deliver, and he always did deliver. So I really enjoyed it.
No, I did too. He had a
Um,
dark side of, I think I watched it. He had a dark side of the ring.
he did.
I think
Um,
he has one.
I think you're right. I think you're right about that. I
There's
think you
so
do.
many. You lose track.
Yeah, you do because it's like yeah, they're right. They do have like a ton of them. So then we get something weird. So you know they're Paul Heyman's freaking out. Buy me some time. Buy me some time. And you know because the ring is broken, so they got to fix it. I guess they got to save Taz, and then Paul Heyman is screaming at him that they have to show the Sandman Sabu match, and Joey Styles is like we can't show the match because it's censors, and then Joey Styles screams, "It's on you! It's on you!" They have this big fight. I want Joey Styles to scream at Tony Khan goes, "It's on you!" And they cut to the match. So now when they do all this, you're thinking like, "Oh my god, these guys are just." This is basically a fucking 8 o'clock match in AEW today. I don't mean to like this match is it's good. It's typical Sandman Sabu. What is it that the censors don't want us to see? I thought like maybe like Sandman's pants fall down, his dick flops out or something. It's just like a regular fucking match that they're freaking out about. What did you think of this match, this segment? And then after the match, she's gonna quit, and we have a format, but you don't fucking follow. I stayed up all night making the format, and he's
I
acting like
mean, I get that. As someone who's had to make formats and programming, I get mad at that too.
all right,
But yes, the match was not as special as they made it seem. Their other match where they like just keep falling off of shit and like beating the hell out of each other. They live fight, as I like to call it. That match was more gruesome than that. Maybe they didn't want you to see Rob Van Dam with his hair down. That's
yeah,
always weird, and maybe that's what it was. But it was not. I think for 2026 standards, it is not that impressive. 1998 wasn't that impressive either, if you ask me, but they just wanted to do a gimmick, and I guess they used the Sandman and Sabu to do it. And Rob Van Dam, red pants, long hair, Rob Van Dam.
red pants long hair, yeah, yeah, it's oh yeah, that's right. He was pretending to be Sabu in the match. Yeah, it's just like the way they set it up, and you're like, oh, okay, well, you know, that was nice, you know,
Oh yeah, just like okay, cool, I guess.
yeah, we had this match. Up next is the main event. In a way, main event. So fucking um, it's the triple threat: Candido and Shane Douglas versus Lance Storm and mystery partner. And Lance Storm comes out, and his mystery partner is Sunny, who looks great by the way in her little outfit, and they act. Joey Styles like, what a genius move. They're never gonna hit Sunny, and it's like, well, what if they do hit Sunny? What if Chris Candido and Shane Douglas just decide fuck it, and they just treat her like, and they just beat her up and pin her? What is he gonna do? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, I think the crowd would just kind of be in shock.
I mean, like, but like he could just hit Sonny with a DDT and pin her. But
Hmm.
guess what? Guess what? Sonny turns on him and they start beating him up. Sonny trips and falls, and this reminds you why Sonny never really wrestled because
Yeah,
she,
she always falls in the hole. No
yeah, she falls,
jokes.
and usually men fall in her hole, so it's nice that it's.
Yeah, see, I said
And
no jokes.
Lance Storm is in a camel clutch, and Candido's mocking him. What were you? Weren't you gonna give me a beating? What are you gonna give me? What are you gonna? He says it like 6 times. And Lance Storm screams, "I'm gonna give you head." And then Al Snow comes out. Oh, Lance Storm knew that you knew that he was gonna double cross him. So now here comes Al Snow, and the crowd's going nuts. They all have heads, and this is the most over Al Snow will ever be. And then he pins Shane Douglas, and this main event lasts like 12 seconds. Sonny looked great. Everyone loves Al Snow, but I don't know. I don't know about this. What do you think about this?
Cool for Al Snow. One of these moments that does not translate well on the network on because you need that music. The music is so good that like they can't even edit it properly. Sometimes like Prodigy sneaks in. Like if you're watching it, you hear
Mhm.
the original theme song over whatever they tried to dub it with. Because without it, it's just like a bunch of people just throwing heads in weird camera angles. You're like, what
Yeah,
am I watching? But no, it was one of the things ECW did without to make Al Snow look like the coolest motherfucker with that entrance. They did. They used to have the entrance, the lights, the heads. Then you remember it's Al Snow. What happened?
they made him look cool.
Yeah. And then he doesn't like win the title. Like whatever. But he like that was like a moment with him with that whole entrance. I think sure it was to set up Shane Douglas, Al Snow later on. If Al Snow was popular and all the people wanted to see him and see Head, why not? But it didn't really do anything for me. Would have done something for me in '98, not during the rewatch.
Yeah, it didn't do much for me either.
You need the music.
You need the music. I did think Sunny looked great. I'm a Sunny fan, even though she's a murdiddly. But
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. Oh yeah, it's also interesting that Sunny, like we watched her like 2 weeks before, is now in ECW. No more refing and no more announcing, no more picking up minis.
well,
She's just,
she's still in WWF as well, but she's gonna come out of WrestleMania 14 as the.
oh yeah. See, I'm always forgetting it.
So that's in a few weeks if the archives don't screw up. Let me
She's
check.
just going back and forth. I don't think, yeah, I think they're gone. Looking this up, I saw Bam Bam Bigelow did not accept a buyout for his contract. They wanted Bam Bam, I guess, back in WWE, and and he didn't accept it. But the WCW bought him out.
I would have went to WWE. I think he could have done a lot with Austin. He could have done a lot with The Rock.
He
I
probably
think
want to work with those guys, the Click and all those Triple
well,
H and stuff.
there's no more click really if you think about it. I mean,
Yeah,
Austin. I think Bam Bam. Remember how Vince had a bodyguard? It was.
yeah,
I think Bam Bam would have been better in that position.
that would have been cool.
Yeah.
His
I,
body was breaking down, but
he still had some good matches in WCW when we get there. He still
yeah,
had he still got 2 good years out of WCW bullshit. Like he
yeah.
still.
He could have protected him well in WCW. I mean WWE. Like he's not wrestling hardcore match, or he's great in the hardcore division, just beating people up and not taking the bumps.
Yeah, it's just you know what though? Tonight he was the king. He's the ECW TV champ, and that's all that matters. Overall, I think for modern fans, WCW has more weight, means more to people than this shit. But I enjoyed it. What about you? I enjoyed the show.
No, it was a fine show. I think it was I still find ECW the hardest to watch when we redo these because ECW just has such a time capsule moment with the energy and the music and the promos and all of that. While WCW you can show today and it'll still fit pretty well most of the show. will still
Yeah,
fit in the eyes of a 2025, 2026 fan. But it was still not a bad show. Still it was way leagues better than the ones we watched before.
yeah. So I blame you.
Thanks. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I'm going to say this. Next week, we are 100% doing uncensored 98. No matter what happens, we will do that show. Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage. Where we go from there, we have to see. But we will be doing that. Kyle, well, it's too far in the future to plug anything. But Kyle, it's been great reviewing this. We are on the cusp of the archives vanishing. Who knows where we'll be in a few weeks? Definitely uncensored, and we'll take it from there. You excited to get uncensored?
I am excited to get uncensored when we got Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, and probably another incredible undercard. I say this, and then it's gonna be like Mortis versus somebody, but let's do it. Pat Tanaka versus Mortis, but I'm excited. Hopefully, the archives will land somewhere. Maybe the pay-per-views will be on Netflix, maybe Amazon, maybe something that you don't have to buy. Hopefully, and we're good to go.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, guys, that's the show. If you like the show, please subscribe. Please follow us. Follow him on X. Keep it 5 star. Or are you on X still?
All socials is I'm that. Keep it
He's
5 star.
he's a 5 star. Uh,
Yes.
see you next week for Uncensored. Thank you, guys.